If you're an individual who lives their life in denial, if you're one of these people who does not believe in reality, if you believe that the stock market isn't rigged and manipulated, if you believe that the US government has your best interests at heart, if you believe that we don't have the right to defend ourselves, you may not want to watch this video because I think you're going to be triggered. It is Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Thanks for checking in today. Before we get started, make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video with everyone you know. Put it all over your social media. Put it all over Facebook. Get this video out and make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Hit that bell notification down below so that you are alerted with the newest videos. I want to start the show out today with some very, very good news. The National Security Advisor, John Bolton, has been fired. He is no longer part of this administration. This war hawk has been fired, and this is great news for America because we have one less war hawk in this administration. This guy did not want peace. This is one of those deep state individuals who wanted to promote war across the world and involve us in everything. This is the kind of guy, this is the war hawk that wants America to be the world police. We need a lot less of these type of people. John Bolton fired. I'm glad he's gone. One less war hawk. I want to continue with more news today, and it's not as good. Unfortunately, we have more concerns with this economy. This country is heading to an economic collapse, whether you want to believe it or not. If you don't believe it, you are living in a bubble. You are absolutely drinking the Kool-Aid. If you cannot see the warning signs, the indications telling every one of you that this is coming, it is not going to be stopped. There is no way we're putting this monster back in the box. It is coming. Mathematically impossible for this not to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen next week or next month, but I'm not saying it couldn't happen. It could happen anytime. And let's not forget, there are black swans all over the place out there, and all it takes is for one to fly through the window, and we're going to have a real mess on our hands. But let's get into this right now. Zero Hedge this morning, studies of 2007, subprime auto lender verified income on only 3% of loans. This is a major concern. The U.S. subprime auto industry is doing everything in its power to create another 2008 crisis. This is really repeating the same behavior that the housing market did back in 2007, 2008. And now the auto sector is doing the same exact thing. One of the largest auto finance companies, Standard Consumer USA Holdings, verified the income on less than 3% of borrowers this year. What could possibly go wrong with that? It then took those loans, bundled them into more than $1 billion in bonds sold this year. This is right out of the playbook of Countrywide back in 2007 and 2008. And you ask, what could go wrong with this? Well, what do you think happened in 2008? And what do you think set the whole thing off? It was these type of subprime loans in the housing market which created this massive bubble. Everybody thought that they should buy a house, and everybody thought that they could buy a house. Just like everybody now is buying a car, buying a Mercedes, a Cadillac, a BMW, a Lexus, a $100,000 truck. And so what do you think could possibly go wrong? People out there, so many people out there driving cars that they cannot afford, that they're never going to be able to afford. And this is going to come back to have major repercussions in the U.S. economy. And this can trigger a economic event right here. We are pouring gas on the fire with this behavior. So again, don't live beyond your means. I told you probably a couple months ago when I did a show that I knew a couple people, and they were qualified, but they were never even asked to verify their income. And basically, they just signed their name and drove off with a car. These people could afford it. But how many people are they doing this at these dealerships that are driving off the lot that cannot afford these cars? I think the number is probably staggering. Let's go on. Another one today. This one really worries me. This also on Zero Hedge. Make sure that you're verifying this stuff. According to Real Estate Research Council of Southern California, San Diego built 43% fewer homes year over year. This is the most significant drop in Southern California. Southern California is basically a bellwether for the real estate market in America. And when you look at San Diego, I mean, this is one of the hottest, or was one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire country. This is an ominous sign, ladies and gentlemen, that the hottest housing markets in the country are now severely cooling down. Home construction in all of Southern California is down 25% year over year. This is a fact. Fact. This is, again, another canary in the coal mine, an indicator telling you if it's cooling down this much in Southern California, what is happening throughout the country. And you may live in an area where it's doing quite well. I saw somebody in the comments down below saying that I think they were in Texas and they sold 6 houses and they were very proud of that. Well, save your money, because let me tell you something about real estate. You can be in a very hot market today. In a couple months, your market's not that hot. Real estate can turn on a dime. And what we're seeing happening here in Southern California, I truly believe is an ominous sign. It is a bellwether. It is the canary in the coal mine to what is going to be transpiring throughout the country. And we're seeing this all over the East Coast too. It's happening on the East Coast, and it's basically just going to do this all the way across America. And for those people out there that believe just because they live in an area, they feel that they're immune to what is happening in America. Listen, make sure that you are taking cautionary measures, because you may be in an area right now in America or a small town that's doing okay, but there's no guarantees that next month, next year, 6 weeks from now, that things are going to change. They change quickly. So make sure that you're making smart decisions, being conservative, saving money. This is no time to be gambling, taking chances, blowing money, no matter where you live. If you're doing great today, if you have a job that is doing great, if you're a real estate agent and you're selling houses, God bless you. But make sure that you are putting away for a rainy day, because these markets can change abruptly. Home building, I want to go over some of these numbers here. They're staggering here in California. Santa Barbara County, their home building's down 40%. Los Angeles County down 29%. San Bernardino County down 20%. Riverside County, where I'm at, down 9%. And Orange County down 7%. Now remember, this is the so-called good economy, okay? We're seeing a lot of double-digit numbers here as far as home building. If it's this bad right now in home building, what do you think we could see, in 2020, when many people believe this recession or depression is going to blow in? What do you think we're going to see? We're witnessing some of the weakest home sales, home sales in the last 5 years right now here in Southern California. One more thing I want to say in regards to Southern California real estate. Sales have been down on a year-over-year basis for 11 straight months. And while that is happening, as I spoke yesterday and numerous times, consumer credit posts largest gain in July since 2017. That's on Breitbart today. Debt is at a crisis level in America. So anybody out there that believes that this economy is doing well, that the American standard of living is improving, they are lying. It is not. This economy is not doing well. Listen, as you know, I support this president 100%. I do not want to see this president fail. I believe that this country and this president, I pray, are going to be victorious at the end. But I see very troubling times coming to America. And I don't mean that I see it through a vision or anything like that. I see it through the numbers. I see it through these statistics. I see it through the debt, that there's no way to get out of this unscathed, that America is going to go through a tribulation, America is going to be rocked, okay? There's no way out of this. Mathematically impossible. This has to happen in order for things to get better. We look at the numbers. 14 trillion right now in debt, the consumer, with auto loans, credit card debt, student loans, and mortgage debt. 14 trillion plus dollars. In 2008, that number was 13 trillion. We're $1 trillion over the 2008 number. Yet, you have associates, friends, family members telling you that don't be paranoid, don't worry about it, everything's going to be fine. The system is not going to fail this time. The government's not going to let it fail. The central bank's not going to let it fail. Don't worry, your money's insured. Nothing to worry about. These people are comatose to the real problems here in America and the real dangers. And you need to be protecting yourselves. Stop worrying about what other people think. Stop worrying about what your friends at church think or your family members. You need to be looking out for you and your family right now. More news, Wall Street Journal. This is another article that should give you some concern to worry. Median U.S. household income showed no growth in 2018. It was essentially flat from a year earlier. Have you noticed yet the price of rent, the price of cars, the price at the grocery store? Look at the interest rate on your credit card. Yet median U.S. household income showed no growth in 2018. Flat from a year earlier. We'll see what the numbers show for this year, but I don't believe most people are doing much better, because if they were, they wouldn't be acquiring this much debt. They wouldn't be so reliant on their credit cards. We wouldn't see this massive run to credit cards, this massive credit card debt that we're seeing. Nobody can afford to buy anything. They're basically going to just be on a payment plan for most of their life with anything that they buy. I'm shocked with the average American and how they can live their life in avoidance. They don't want to accept the fact that there is a massive crisis here in America, because they don't want their little bubble to pop. They don't want their little way of life to pop. They don't want it to be disruptive. And as we witness this giant crisis that is here right now in America that you and I can see, but most Americans don't want to see it. They don't want to see the boogeyman because it scares them. And instead of confronting this crisis and preparing, they'd much rather just hope it goes away, call everybody else a doom and gloomer, because somebody will fix it. It's not going to affect their life. It's not affecting them right now, so it's not going to affect them. And if something goes wrong, the government's going to fix it. So nothing bad can happen because we're here in America. These people are so naive, and these are going to be the people that are going to be victims of this collapse. And if you're one of them out there right now, please wake up and open your ears and your eyes to what is happening. It's not coming. It's already here. It's begun. We are now sitting on the biggest debt bubble the world has ever seen, okay? This is scarier than any boogeyman. This is scarier than any hurricane, any earthquake. This debt bubble is going to be what collapses the U.S. economy. And it is going to collapse every one of you out there unless you're prepared. If you're prepared for this, it is going to cushion the blow, but nobody is going to be immune to it. It is going to change everybody's life drastically, but the people out there prepared, I believe, will prosper. This is going to soften the blow, and you will survive it. For the person out there that isn't prepared, the ones that want to call you a doom and gloomer, that will call this message fear porn, I don't live my life in fear because I know what's coming and I'm prepared for it. The people who will live in fear are the people who do not prepare, because you're going to deal with the social wrath out there. You're going to be dealing with the wolf packs out there. You're going to be dealing with the uncertainty out there. You're going to be dealing with food shortages out there. You're going to be dealing with a currency that may just be worthless. And if you're not holding hard assets, if you don't not have food and water stockpiled, if you do not have security, I'll tell you, you will be living in fear. You will be living in doom and gloom. People like me, people like you and I out there who are preparing, who know what is coming, who are prepared, we're not going to live our life in fear. I mean, these are going to be scary times, no doubt about it, but we're not going to be shocked when this happens. We're not going to live life in fear. We're going to be prepared to deal with whatever circumstance we have to. And so the average person who has not prepared is going to be dealing with very uncertain times, with lots of violence, with food shortages, with shortages of water, shortages of medicine, shortages of assets. You're going to have a very, very hard time surviving this when things get very, very bad on the streets of America. So if you are on the fence here and you're listening to this, wake up. Start making preparations right now and be prepared. Look, I can afford to be wrong, but can you afford for me to be right? Don't take that chance. I just gave you many, many reasons, indications of what is happening right now and why it's inevitable that we are going to see serious crisis here in America. And I'm going to close with this. I forgot where this was today. Might have been, actually, I think it was on the Drudge Report. Gun sales surged 15%, driven by self-protection. Pelosi and Schumer demand for limits. Right here. Massive amounts of background checks being done. Sales increasing because there are people out there beginning to wake up. They see the signs. They know that when an economy collapses, when a currency collapses, they know what's coming. Law collapses. You will be on your own. If you think the government's going to take care of you, you're sadly mistaken. If you think they're going to feed you and keep you safe, you are sadly mistaken. Be your own central bank. Be your own food bank. Be your own security. You don't know how long this could last. We could have a bad month. We could have 6 bad months. We could have a bad year here in America. Nobody has a crystal ball, and I'm not one for predictions. But what we do know, it's not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. Because these numbers, these statistics, this debt is not going away. And you throw on top of that this trade war with China that is not getting any better. China may now be in for the long ride here and really trying to hurt America. So we also have Farmageddon, the crisis in the Midwest with the farms. We're already seeing food shortages with canned foods at the store. I mean, right now, here in California, where I'm shopping in most stores, it is anywhere from 75 cents to $1 for an ear of corn. Okay, most places that I've seen, it is $1 for an ear of corn. So that doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, for somebody that has a family of 4, food prices are very, very important. I'm also starting to see gas prices starting to tick up also. So we're going to continue to see things get more expensive while people's wages are not going up with the cost of living, with the real inflation that is taking place. And this is the good times. Remember, this is the good times. What do you think we're going to see when the bad times come to America? It's just the beginning. Stock market's up again today, but did that change your life in any way? Remember, most of your pensions are unfunded, and all it takes is a couple bad days, and this market can erase everything brutally, quickly. Remember 2008? I never forgot it, how quickly things can be erased. This time, it will be much, much worse. Protect yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and economically. Have an incredible week. God bless every one of you. Make sure you're praying for this country. Tough times are coming without a doubt. Make sure you're prepared for them.